Home sweet home.
This'll do.
Perfect. Ooh, stuff's filled with ants. Imagination. You know, before we make camp, we always got to get firewood. Firewood's very vital to a healthy camp. I find it so funny when you go to those grocery stores and they got freaking firewood for sale. You know what I mean? Like 4 pieces for sale. God leaves free firewood all over the ground of the forest. Fuck, that's a root. You know, the hobo life, it's so relaxing. I mean, other than being chased down by cops and businessmen and beaten to a bloody pulp, it's a really relaxing life. Just look at this beautiful view. Now, we don't have much paper, so let's hope this works. We'll need to burn up our whole notebook that Grandma Ma sent us.
Now we're cooking.
Yeah, now we're getting somewhere.
What's your key to a fire?
I call this fire the colonizer. Let's build a little teepee and burn it down, you know?
Pretty sure I saw it over there.
Fucking fisher, it's a kingfisher! Fuck. Yeah, you haven't seen Yannicka or I online a lot lately because we've actually decided on, I don't know how I put this, but a lifestyle change. Yeah, we're hobos now. I was just tired of, capitalism constantly breathing down my, the collar of my shirt. I was tired of that. Yannicka as well. Yannicka's, very tired of the capitalistic system. And we decided, fuck it. fuck the system. We're gonna become hobos. Originally our plan was to be train hopping hobos, but we aren't legally allowed to take trains. You know, so we decided we become bicycle hobos. I know you might say to yourself, well, how are you going to be a bicycle hobo? You know, how are you going to uphold the maintenance on your bike when all you are is a hobo? You know, dirty, downtrodden hobo with no job and nothing to live for. Well, how are you going to upkeep your bike? Well, that's easy. I just siphon air out of a car tires. You know, I borrow a little grease from, you know, an Italian's head. You know, I grease the chain. But me, I love hoboing. You know, now we just, you know, travel from town to town and city to city, province to province, just, you know, being free. You might say the convoy had a real effect on us. We ain't going back to no city slickin' living, you know? Though we depend on the cities, we more live off the cities now rather than the cities living off of us. You know, I spend some time downtown panhandling during the day, you know, try and get a couple of bucks together, you know, get some tobacco, you know, maybe a little bit of shine. And then me and the missus, we head up to the hills, you know, and we pull our bed mat out and we find a good soft spot on the ground. Sometimes we have to lay some moss down. We make it every day, and all we have is today, you know? Like the old hobo saying, all you got's today, because tomorrow may never come, Ray. Our little fire's about gone down to the coals, so we're about ready to cook up our meal. I was actually begging outside the grocery store today, you know, just trying to get a couple cents together, maybe to get a 40 or something like that. And this nice lady coming out of the grocery store, she just handed me these. She says, you need them more than me. Because I knew if I didn't say something, you might be asking yourself, what's a hobo doing with store-bought food? He's supposed to be eating Blue Jays and Birdberries. Well, again, I'm not a tundra hobo. You know, I'm a hill hobo. I live in the hills. Me and my missus. Hoboing, nothing sweeter. Yeah, you know, it's not easy, but we make it look easy at least. Fuck, I love being a hobo. So, what kind of hobo things did you get up to today?
Went to the job agency today. Got a telemarketing job.
Oh yeah? How are you gonna do that?
I use the Wi-Fi in the McDonald's. That'll work out.
That's genius! We got our specialty hobo vests on. I love you. You know, with the price of inflation going up and the housing market skyrocketing, it's actually cheaper to live as a hobo, you know, who panhandles downtown, you know, might eat a Blue Jay here or there, than a fella who works 9 to 5, you know, and has an apartment. The guy I used to be last week, but I had to quit my job, you know, and I had to quit that life to survive. I couldn't survive like that. It was too expensive. It was like $5,000 for one apartment, you know, one room in my apartment. I had a 2-bedroom apartment. They raised my price of my apartment up to 10 grand a month. You know, guess what my rent is now? Zero. You know, even hobos gotta take baths sometimes. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, that's not even that cold for May. Oh yeah. For May, you know, it's actually like a hot tub. Oh yeah. Being a hobo, that's the life for me. I just hope I don't step on a cat skull. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Okay. You know how they always say you gotta go in quick so you don't feel the cold? Well, as hobos, you gotta go in real slow. You wanna feel every bit of it so you don't catch hypothermia. That's called a hobo bath. Fuck. I dive in, but it gets swept away. See, that's the hobo bath. You gotta get right in there and hold on. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I love the hobo life. God, yeah. You might be asking yourself, what's a hobo doing with a towel? Well, today I was downtown, you know, panhandling, and I was walking by the Marriott Hotel, and I looked in and I noticed a bellhop had left a couple of towels sitting out, so I sort of scooted in there and grabbed me one, you know? When you're a hobo, the world's your living room. Your den, your kitchen, your basement, your 1 bedroom, 2 bedroom, 3 bedroom, possibly if you have a good job, maybe working in the government. It's the hobo life. Living off the fat of the land. Getting work here or there where we can. Drinking, fighting, fornicating in the bushes. I got us this beer today from old Ricky. Yeah, old Ricky's a good guy, you know? I've known him since I was 15. Back when I used to be, you know, a young kid punk hobo, you know? Old Ricky'd take care of me. I remember the first time I met old Ricky. I had a 5-piece of weed and I loaded it into my weed pipe. And I gave it to him to take a hoot, and we were gonna, you know, we were gonna share it. Old Ricky starts taking the hoot. Next thing I know, I look over, he smoked the whole 5-piece. Make yourself a plate. Nice hearty meal. Sleep well tonight.
Pick a good rock.
Yeah. Rock covered with some moss. Singing Dixie. That is just fucking beautiful. Oh yeah, I mean, it literally doesn't get any better than that. Look at that. That's so tasty. That's Italian sausage right from Germany. Spaghetti, German spaghetti right from Italia. It's fucking beautiful. I got these utensils actually from a lady at the mission today when I was grabbing a bite to eat. I said, you got a spare fork for an old lonely hobo and his lass? Away.
So I guess we should just...
Yeah, just keep him going. You're drunk. You know, I've had a lot of buddies come and go over the years. Some of them turned into big shots, you know. Some of them still live in their parents' basements. And some of them, you know, they didn't make it. Like I used to have this friend, James Elvis. You know, his name is actually James McCoy, but he changed his name to James Elvis when his mama passed away when he was 13. His mama's favorite musician was Elvis. He wasn't really fond of Elvis growing up, but when his mama passed, he had a lot of time to contemplate. And he listened to those old Elvis records his mama had, you know, those old Elvis records his mama had up in her room. And he decided, you know what? I'm gonna change my name to Elvis and I'm gonna become an Elvis impersonator. My buddy, James Elvis. You know, I knew him for many years. In fact, James Elvis went to juvie when he was young because he put a big old nickel up on the train track. Train track actually derailed, you know? And James Elvis he almost had to go to jail for manslaughter because a fella actually died. A fella who was riding the rails almost passed away because of James Elvis. And you know, for years I hadn't heard of him. I thought maybe he'd kick the bucket. And I was on the bus one day, and there he was, as big as life, this Elvis hairdo in a security guard uniform. Turns out that James Elvis was now the mayor of Saskatoon's personal bodyguard. And we all know about the mayor of Saskatoon. Not the greatest fella you ever want to meet. In fact, the mayor of Saskatoon outlawed hoboing back in '95. You know? So to see a fella who, me and him, you know, we used to be good old boys. We used to hang out down under the bridge. We'd drink a couple 40s, me and James Elvis. You know? To see him working for the man, that really turned me. Really turned me the other way. I didn't like that. And I asked him, what do you think you're doing? He said, I got me a boy now, buddy. I got me a boy. I had to get it together. I couldn't keep hoboing anymore. I had to, you know, I had to set my tracks straight. I had to walk that line. I get it. You have a kid, you need to provide for that kid. You know, I never had no providing for. I was living on my own at 6 years old. But anyways, so me and James Elvis were on the bus and we were talking. We were reminiscing of the old times. You know, we used to be downtown under that bridge, under the Black Bridge. James Elvis would be singing, in the ghetto, in the ghetto, in the ghetto. That's the only Elvis lyric he actually knew. James Elvis wasn't much of a Elvis impersonator, you might say. He was a good all-around fella. I miss him. I miss old James Elvis. Yeah, it's really a gloriful, gloryless life, the hobo life, you know? Like, I used to have this dog back when I was hoboing when I was younger. His name was Patch. Patch was a good boy, you know? He used to chase away those big land rats, the kind that nibble a hole right through your hobo boot in the middle of the night. You wake up with no toes. Not me. Patch always chased those suckers away. You know, one day Patch never came home. You know? Patch went rat hunting and he didn't come back, you might say. And I cried. I cried night and I cried day and I cried night and day for weeks at a time. Weeks, months. It was really starting to affect my panhandling abilities, you know? Because you'd think a crying guy on the sidewalk, people would want to give him some, you know, spare change. Spare change for a guy who looks like his life's falling apart, you know? Lost Patch. But no, they don't care about a fella, you know, who just lost his Patch. Just lost Patch somewhere in the wilderness. He's hunting for rats and stuff, you know? He just couldn't find Patch anymore. He's gone. But that's the hobo life. You gotta get over things quickly. You gotta get over it quickly. You know, you're sad 1 minute, where's Patch gone? And then the next minute, you're over it. You know, you're under the new, fresh lick of life, you know? You get a new pet. You know, I got a pet mouse. Sure it wasn't alive, but I'd hold it like this and I'd pet it. It was real soft. Sure, Yannicka would take the mouse, throw it in the forest and say, you can't play with the mouse. It's not alive, but I'd go into the forest and I'd find it and I'd pet its little soft head. Sure. I found a new pet. I moved on. I love the hobo life. You know, you gotta have a deep, hearty laugh when you're a hobo. You gotta laugh the pain away. And you laugh with your hobo partners, and nothing ever seems bad again, because every time something bad comes along, you'll laugh the pain away. serenade these ducks, these Canadian ducks. When I was a young boy, I never thought when I'd grow old that I'd be living on the road 365 days a year. Just me and the stars and the sky so clear. When I was a young boy, I never would have dreamed that I would live the hobo life. Just me and my beautiful hobo wife. The hobo life and me. Hoboing. Well, gotta get some shut-eye. Have a long day of panhandling tomorrow. Sweet dreams. When I was a young boy,